This is DP2B. Today's date is November the 23rd, 2011. We will be reviewing our DP2B IB exam, paper 2. First, we will focus on test-taking strategies. Second, and equally important, we will talk about quantity versus quality with respect to addressing styles of answers in terms of commentary, the descriptive nature of answering the questions that are posed, as well as interpretation. So let's first start by asking you guys a quick question. So for paper 1, would you say that it was a challenging test, or would you say that it was rather easy? Anyone? It was okay. What were the best and worst aspects of the paper 1 test?
I say it's okay, I think. It's not that difficult. Although there is some vocabulary words I may not know, but it's okay. I still understand. My problem is that I'm not taking the question very seriously.
Well, that's an important part of test-taking strategies. How you address the questions, how you analyze the excerpt. Those are important part of the process in terms of strategy. All right, so what we'll do now is we'll just jump back to where we should be, as opposed to just focusing on the test that we completed, the paper 1 test. We'll talk a bit about strategies at this point. As I explained, it's important to read the instructions and read them carefully. To not do that is to put yourself in a situation where you'll be constantly forced to remind yourself actually what's going on, what am I looking for? You'll be going back and forth. So I would encourage that you focus heavily on the question, so that as you're going through the excerpt or the narrative of whichever kind, that you are really looking for the answer as opposed to blindly searching for something that will fill up space. Second part to this particular process will be the quantity versus quality aspect of answering questions. As you probably know, one of the most important parts of the test is your language use, as well as your interpretive abilities, what has been said in the story. So I want you to remember that as you address these narratives that you're required to comment on. I want you to make sure that as you do that, you're keeping in your mind the interpretation and your criticism will basically answer the requirements that are in the instructions based on the commentary. You have to make sure that you are criticizing or commenting on the narrative, so that the reader, the audience, the assessor understands that you are criticizing. Let's start with paper 2. So how would you say, based on what you've read thus far, how would you say you are prepared to address your question?
I chose the 6th one.
You chose the 6th one.
Yeah,
Would you please read the 6th?
Okay. Imagine that it is now January 2007. You have achieved very pleasing results in your IB exams, but the hardworking and generous classmate who is a friend of yours has failed to pay a diploma. Write a letter to your friend offering
Sympathy, yes.
sympathy and giving reasons why he or she should not be too discouraged.
So basically have a scenario where you have performed well on a test, right? And yet you have a friend who hasn't. How do you plan on approaching this particular question?
I had some experiences.
Okay, explain.
It was quite similar to the situation that the topic, the given topic was discussing about a friend of mine, and he failed his test, which was kind of important for him,
Yes.
of both of us. and of course, as his friend, I offered him some sympathy, of course. So I think it is easier to write based on my own experiences, which has very similar circumstances.
Excellent. Helen, with respect to your test, which number did you choose?
The number 6, same as Chandler.
You chose the same one. Chandler told us that he is drawing on his personal experience to answer this particular commentary's requirements. How will you approach this particular commentary?
I'm thinking to use some example, but not the experience around myself. It's like normally some famous people or the celebrities sometimes also fail the exam, but finally they succeed.
Right.
And to encourage the person to not too disappointed with the exam.
Excellent. Well, in a way, you're both drawing on familiar information. You're drawing on your past experiences, in particular a friend's challenges with this particular test. However, you're drawing on your knowledge of famous people, particularly academically successful people, and you're using your familiarity with their level of achievement to reference how you can answer this in an efficient way so that you describe the best way to approach this.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what we'll do now is we'll give you guys some more time to continue where you left off.